Hello from this beautiful beachfront yoga shala in El Salvador, and welcome to your practice. Today's class will be focused around eagle pose, Garudasana. For this practice, you're going to want to make sure that you have 2 yoga blocks, and if you don't have those, you can use a bolster. We're starting in supported fish, so you can lay your blocks out on the medium height in a T shape, and the block that is placed lengthwise will go right between the shoulder blades, and the other one will support the back of the skull. Go ahead and lie down on top of the blocks. You may need to adjust them a little bit as you settle in to make sure the bottom surface of both blocks is flat on your yoga mat. Let your chest open up towards the sky. Relax your arms down by your sides. And you can straighten out your legs and just allow the toes to roll open to the sides if that feels comfortable. Just keep in mind this makes the compression in the lower back a little bit more intense, so if it's too much to start off your practice in this way, then just keep your feet planted on the floor. Let your body grow heavy and melt back into the mat as you start to deepen your breath and strengthen the connection between mind, body, and breath, reminding yourself that that's what this practice is all about. And we'll start to invite some movement in. You can pick up your arms from the floor and cross the right elbow on top of the left. Give yourself a hug, grabbing onto opposite shoulder blades, and imagine like you're trying to pull the elbows isometrically apart from each other to create more of an opening across the upper back. If you're up for it, you can double cross the wrists, bring the palms together with the thumbs facing towards your nose, finding your eagle arms for the first time of many in this practice. And like you're sliding your hands up and down a straight line as you inhale, you can lift the elbows and start to reach your fingertips into the space above your head. And as you exhale, pull the elbows back down and in towards the chest. So inhale to slide your hands up, carving that same straight line, big stretch in the shoulders, and exhale to pull the elbows down, and think about pushing your right elbow down against the left. Go for one more and really intentionally line up your movement to match the speed of your breath, exhaling fully as you hug the elbows down and in. On your next inhale, you can bring the elbows back through center, uncross the arms, and just lower your arms down by your sides. Repeating the same thing on the second side, you can inhale to pick up your arms and this time cross your left elbow on top of the right, and you can either hang out here in this self-hug position or find your Garudasana arms. And as you inhale, pull the fingertips up towards the space above you. Exhale to slide the elbows down and in towards the center of the ribcage. Make sure not to tense up the shoulders. If you do find they're starting to scrunch up and you're lifting your head off the block, you can make this range of motion a little bit smaller. We really just want to open up some space in the shoulders before we get further into our practice. Bringing the elbows back to the center of the chest, let's unwind the arms. And one more time, lower your arms down by your sides. Feel the chest opening up towards the sky. To come out of this fish shape, you can bend your knees and plant your feet on the floor, how we began. Tuck your chin to your chest and tuck your hands just behind your knees. Draw the navel in, engaging just slightly through the core as you pull yourself up to a seated position. Move your blocks or your bolster or your cushion or whatever's behind you off to the side so you have some space. And then you can lean back onto your hands with your fingertips facing towards the back of the mat and start by windshield wipering the knees side to side. For the first time in our practice, introducing a little bit of movement into the lower body. So notice what's going on in the hips and the knees. Maybe incorporate some movement with the head. So as your knees drop to the right, you can look to the left and vice versa. Now, rolling back through center, plant your feet firmly on the floor and turn your hands around so your fingertips face forward. Tuck your chin, and as you inhale, this can be a little sloppy, bend the elbows, lean back. As you exhale, keep your chin tucked but drive the heart forward, try to straighten out through the arms. Keep sending the heart forward as you press down through the feet and lift the hips up. Scoop your tailbone under just slightly so the hips are level with the knees, and you can release your gaze up towards the ceiling to bring your neck in line with the rest of the spine. If you want a little bit more, lift your heels up, really pressing down through the balls of your feet. Keep firing through the glutes, the hamstrings, and firming your hands down into the mat. Exhale, heels down. Slowly lower your hips back down. Great job. Grab onto your legs just behind the knees. Pull the shoulders onto your back body to open the chest. And then we'll lift and hover the legs. You can point your toes straight forward for Navasana, boat pose. For an added challenge, you can release your grip behind the knees and reach the fingertips forward. Keep your chest open. And then as you inhale, like you're spreading your wings, reach your arms out to the sides and squeeze the shoulder blades together across the back. Now watch this. We're going to drop the feet down and reach the arms forward. As you do, cross your right wrist over top of the left. Turn the palms in towards each other and interlace your fingers. As you exhale, round through the back body, drop your chin to your chest and punch forward through the knuckles. As you inhale, we're going to start to rock forward, turn your knuckles down, and then up towards the sky with the pinky fingers in towards the chest. Go back the way you came, exhale to round and punch forward. And inhale, as you rotate through the wrist, draw the heart center forward towards the pinky fingers. Again, exhale, round, drop the head, find this deep spinal flexion, pull the navel in, and inhale, thread the heart forward, pinky fingers and heart draw in towards each other. Exhale one more time, round back, hold it here. Core stays engaged as you unclasp the hands and draw a big sweeping semicircle with your right hand to the back of the mat. Lower your right elbow to the floor, reach your left arm up to the sky and roll onto your right hip, stacking your hips and your knees, and then we'll elevate the hips, lift them up high, squeeze your glutes, finding a variation of side plank. Keeping the toes connected, option to open up the legs like a clamshell here, so rotating left knee up towards the sky. Keep broadening across the chest. Now as you exhale, lower down, and you're going to place your right hand on top of the left shoulder, almost like you're giving yourself a hug. Plant your left hand flat on the floor in front of you. Keep your knees and your hips stacked. We're going to work into the left tricep muscle. So hips stay on the floor. As you exhale, press the ground away with your left hand. Come up as high as you can without lifting the hips. Inhale, bend the elbow, lower down with control. Again, exhale, massive press through the left hand. Feel the tricep light up. Inhale, bend the elbow and lower it down. 3 more. Exhale, press up, starting to really feel that tricep muscle engaging. Inhale, make sure not to have a crash landing onto the floor. And we're almost there. Exhale, press up. Inhale, lower down. Last one, give it all you've got. Pressing up and lowering down. Right shoulder comes all the way down to the mat. Great job. Keep your legs where they are. You can extend through the right arm and then sweep the left arm back behind you. Look back over your left fingertips for a nice, gentle reclined twist. A little bit of space might open up between the knees for you. Don't worry if that happens. If you want some extra support, put a block in between. Try to lower your left shoulder blade down to the floor and soften into the mat. Roll your head back through center, and then bring the legs back through center, drawing the knees in towards the chest. Let's hang out for a moment in this neutral position. You can massage into the lower back by taking a gentle rock side to side. And then place your hands behind your knees, lift your head, tuck your chin, engage through the core, and start to rock up and down along the length of the spine. Maybe a few times here. And you can either come up to seated or join me right back in boat pose, bracing through the core as you find your balance. Once you've got that, release your grip, point your toes, option this time to extend your legs up towards the sky. And then big inhale to open the chest, spread your wings, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Hold it here, brace through the core, you've got this. Bend your knees, lower your feet flat to the floor, reach your arms forward, this time left wrist over the right, turn the palms and interlace your fingers. Exhale, round back, press your feet down into the floor to anchor you. Inhale, knuckles curled down, in towards the chest and then up towards the sky as you draw the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, round, punch the knuckles forward, drop the chin, empty out the lungs. Inhale to fill up, drag the heart forward towards the pinky fingers. Exhale again, round back, press down through your feet to create stability. Inhale, drag the heart forward, open up across the chest, shoulders down and back. Last time here, exhale, round, hollowing out through the belly. Release the grip of your hands. This time circle the left arm all the way to the back of the mat. Once your hand lands, you can lower your left elbow down, roll onto your left hip. Reach your right arm up to the sky, point your toes, and lift your hips up, directly coming into our supported side plank. If you want that little add-on of opening up the right knee towards the sky, make sure you squeeze your glutes in towards each other. Keep the toes pointed, keep the chest open, and exhale to close the knees up and lower the hips back down to the earth. Now, you can't see the visual as well on this side, but you're going to place your left hand on your right shoulder and your right hand on the mat in front of you. Make sure you're working into the right arm this time. Squeeze the thighs together as you exhale, press down through the right hand to lift the upper body up. Inhale, lower down just as slow as you came up. Exhale, press the ground away to rise up. Keep the core strong as well. Inhale to lower down. We did 5 on the first side. We're going to balance it out with 5 on this side. Exhaling to come up. Inhale to lower down. Use your breath. 2 more. Exhale, rise. Inhale, soften down. And last one. Give yourself a big push here. Lots of energy. Inhale, lower it back down to the earth. Extend your left arm straight out towards the side. Keep your knees where they are. Open your right arm out towards the right. You can turn your head to look out over the right fingertips. Maybe a little bit of space opens up between the knees. Soften your right shoulder blade down into the floor. Let the right arm be really heavy on the mat. Direct your head back to center, followed by the knees, hugging them in towards the chest. This time we're going to go right into rocking up and down, maybe once or twice, find some momentum, and eventually rock up, cross your shins in front of you. Plant your hands at the top of the mat and step the knees back into tabletop position. Here we are. Now I want you to actually step your knees wider than hip width apart and make sure the toes don't turn in, so shins stay parallel. Cross your left wrist behind the right and plant both hands flat on the mat. So we've got this crisscross position for the wrists. Here, inhale, drop the belly down, pull the heart forward to that space between the biceps and lift the chin. And as you exhale, round, tuck the chin to the chest, press down firmly through the hands. Inhale to thread the heart forward, gaze out across the horizon. And exhale, rounding through the back body, spreading the shoulder blades wide. One more time, inhale, arch. Exhale, round, press down through all 10 fingers. Bring yourself back to a neutral spine. Keep your right hand grounded and the left arm behind the right, but reach it up and grab onto your right shoulder blade. You can turn the big toes in towards each other and then melt the hips back to the heels. So finding this variation of child's pose, spider crawl your right fingertips to the top left corner of the mat a little bit more and surrender your forehead down to the mat inside of the right bicep. And you can use the left hand to pull down just slightly on the right shoulder, guiding it down towards the floor, getting this beautiful expansive stretch down the right side of the body and even into the shoulder blade. Walk your right hand back in, keep your hips on your heels and come up to this kneeling position. Your left hand still holding onto the right shoulder, and now complete it by bringing the right hand to the left shoulder. Lift the elbows up and away from the center of the chest. An option here to once more find your full expression of eagle arms with your palms together and the wrists double wrapped. As you inhale, start to reach your fingertips up, lift your gaze, your third eye up towards the ceiling, and exhale, press the right elbow down into the left as you tuck the chin and feel this massive stretch between the shoulder blades. Again, inhale to glide fingertips up to the sky, lift the gaze as well. And exhale as you pull the elbows down, continue to isometrically pull them apart to maximize the stretch between the shoulder blades. One more time. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, around. Feel even the skin of the upper back stretching out. And then come back through center. Unwind the arms. Place your hands on the floor and make your way back to tabletop. Make sure the knees are still in this slightly wider stance, and then turn the toes back out so they're in line behind the knees. This time we'll cross the right wrist behind the left. Once you find that little crisscross, make sure both hands are flat on the floor. Inhale, drop the belly down, draw the heart forward, gaze forward, and exhale. Here we go, cat pose. Inhale, moving through, threading the heart forward, opening up the chest and engaging through the back body. And exhale to round, engaging through the front body. Go for one more round here, just finding a little more space in the shoulders and the spine. And this time, as you make your way back to a neutral position, your left hand stays planted on the floor and your right arm, keep it underneath the left, but it reaches up and grabs onto the left shoulder. Turn your big toes in to kiss at the back of the mat. Melt your hips back to your heels. And start to reach your left fingertips towards the top right corner of the mat a little bit more. If you can, keep your left elbow lifted and drop your forehead down. From this position, use your right hand to give yourself a little self-adjustment and pull your left shoulder down and wrap your left shoulder down towards the floor. Keep the hips back on the heels as you walk your left hand in towards you and lift yourself up to a kneeling position. And as you arrive, cross your left arm over the right, give yourself a hug. Lift the elbows slightly up from the center of the chest, and if you'd like, find your full eagle arms. Inhale to lift, pull the elbows and reach the fingertips up towards the sky or maybe even back behind you. And exhale, really contract through the core as you pull everything down and in. 2 more times. Inhale, bring your movement and your breath together here. Exhale, using the full length of this breath out to round forward and into yourself. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, round and contract. Come back to neutral, unwind the arms, and this time as you inhale, we're going to squeeze the glutes to rise up onto the knees. You can keep the knees a little wider, tuck your toes under behind you, and take your hands to your lower back with the fingertips facing down. Send the hips forward, continue to tuck the tailbone as you lift the sternum up towards the sky. Squeeze the shoulder blades together across the back so you get this big opening across the chest. If it feels good for the neck, you can tip the head back and look towards the space behind you. Otherwise, maintain a gentle tucking of the chin to the chest. With the toes tucked under, you can even feel this stretching and spreading of the soles of the feet in our camel pose, Ustrasana. Exhale, come forward, plant your hands down to the mat. Keep the toes tucked under so you can just lift the knees up off the mat and guide the hips back and up into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Find a comfy position for the head. Maybe pedal the legs out a little bit here, just elongating the backs of the legs. And then find one breath in stillness and really use the strength of your arms and your palms on the mat to press your chest back towards the thighs. Now you can tuck your chin to your chest, and as you exhale, ripple the spine forward to a high plank with the shoulders over top of the wrists to start. Maybe challenge yourself to walk the hands forward, one hand print, maintaining this hollow position in the body. Push the mat away. And if you're feeling super strong, hands walk forward, one more hand print, so you're in this really tall plank position. Breathe and keep pushing for 3, 2, 1. Then bend the elbows, lower both elbows down straight into a forearm plank position. Just one breath here. As you inhale, draw the navel up and in, pull the sides of the waist in. And as you exhale, gaze forward, lower the thighs and the front of the hips down to the mat, finding your Sphinx pose. You can untuck your toes and let the shoelace sides of your feet press down at the back of the mat as you lift up through the very top of your head, almost like there's a string tied to the crown, pulling you upwards and finding more length through the spine. Begin to slide your hands back so they're flat on the floor underneath your shoulders. Squeeze your glutes as you inhale and peel the chin chest and ribcage off the mat. Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Bend the elbows, keep them close to the sides, and lower all the way back down. Now tuck your toes under behind you, firm up through the core, and press straight up into a high plank. Inhale, same thing, bend the elbows, keep them close to the sides, lower back down. Untuck the toes. We're doing it again. Inhale, cobra pose. Pull the heart forward, shoulders onto the back body. Exhale, hug the elbows in as you lower down. Tuck your toes, press straight up through a plank position. And then as you inhale, bend the elbows and lower back down, all at the same time. Untuck your toes, one more. Inhale, nice big cobra pose. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower down with control. Tuck the toes, squeeze the core, glutes and thighs, press up to your high plank position. And then peel the tailbone back and up. Relax your head between your arms, coming back to your downward facing dog. Widen your base in this downward facing dog by stepping the feet just outside of hip width apart. This will help with balance. Ground down through your right hand. Left hand reaches across the front of the thighs to grab the outside of the right leg, whether that's above or below the knee, or maybe you even grab the ankle or the heel. Twist your chest open towards the right and gaze up towards the sky or the ceiling underneath your right armpit. And gently release your grip. Place your left hand back down on the mat and pour all of your weight into your left hand as we go straight to the other side. Right hand grabs the outside of the left leg wherever is comfortable. Dial your heart over towards the left side and gaze up towards the ceiling underneath your left arm. Draw the left hip crease back to level out the hips in this twisted variation of downward facing dog. And let's release, lowering the right hand back down to the floor. Walk your feet back in slightly so they're a nice, even hip width distance apart. Hollow out the lower belly, pull the navel up and in. And as you inhale, sweep your left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, shift forward, shoulders over the wrists, bend your left knee, touch left knee to left elbow. Send it back the way you came from, extending left leg up towards the sky on the inhale. Exhale, left knee comes into the center of your chest, tuck your chin around the spine, knee to nose. Inhale, one more, three-legged dog, reach it up. This time, bring your left knee across to the right elbow. And then extend your left leg over towards the side. Lower the knife edge of your left foot down to the floor. Drop the right heel and reach your right arm up as you spin the chest open towards the sky. Patita Tarasana, fallen triangle pose. Now imagine like you're going into a side plank. Stack right shoulder on top of left and right hip. And then see if you can lift and hover the left foot. Point the toes straight forward. Bend your left knee in towards the chest. Hold here for just a moment. And very gently lower the hips down to the floor with your left knee bent and the sole of the foot against the inside of the right thigh. You can lower your right hand down to the inside of the right leg, reach the left arm all the way up and over, and gaze up to the inside of the left bicep. As you start to come back up, replant your left hand at the top of the mat with the fingertips facing forward. Reach your right arm up to the sky, ground down through the left knee. Keep your right foot on the floor so you're in a supported side plank. You can extend the right arm all the way up and overhead for a little additional length down the right side of the waist. And then simply take your right hand down to the top of the mat as you square off. You can turn your left toes so they're pointing straight back and tuck the right toes under. Firm your hands down into the mat, lift and hover the left knee in towards the center of the chest, and as gently as you can, step your left foot forward between the hands. Keep the right heel lifted, gaze forward, inhale, rise up, Ashtachandrasana, high crescent lunge. Tug the left hip crease back ever so slightly as you twist open towards the left, right hand forward, left hand back, broaden across the chest, and then exalt, flip your right palm up to the sky, inhale, sweep your right hand back and up. Gently place your left hand on the back of the right leg, above or below the knee. Now half windmill with the arms, so turn the right palm forward, float your right hand down inside of the left foot, reach your left arm up to the sky, stacking your shoulders. And again, watch carefully here. Left arm is going to reach in between the left foot and the right arm. Reach back and grab the outside of your right thigh. Inhale to open it back up and rotate the heart open towards the side. We're going to repeat this again, so exhale, thread your arm in between the grounded hand and leg, and then inhale, reach back up. One more time, this time we're adding on, so as you exhale, reach back, gently place your hand on the outside of the right thigh, And this time as you come forward, hook your left elbow underneath the right, ground down through the feet and rise up as you catch your eagle arms or the modification ground onto opposite shoulders. Ground down through the ball of the right foot, send the hips forward and then lean the shoulders back as you pull your fingertips up towards the sky and find a slight back bend. And this is where the magic happens. We're going to take it all the way to full eagle. Come back through neutral, pour your weight into your front foot, lift your right leg, cross your right leg over the left, and you can either keep your foot hanging to the outside of your left calf or double wrap the foot. Lift your chest just slightly, isometrically pull the elbows apart, draw the navel in to support your hips in balance. Here we are, eagle pose, Garudasana. You made it to the peak posture. Coming out, unwind the legs first so you have your balance, right foot on the floor, and then take the biggest inhale you can as you uncross the arms, sweep the arms up, and exhale. Fold all the way down, Uttanasana. Rinse it out with a quick vinyasa. Inhale to half lift, flat back, hands on the shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, high plank position. You can drop your knees if you'd like, or lower straight down through Chaturanga. Inhale to scoop the heart forward and up, upward dog or baby cobra. And then tuck your toes under, send your hips back and up, finding downward facing dog once more. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Maybe open the mouth as you let the breath pour out. And now you're ready for the second side. We're going to do the same thing. Keep your left foot grounded this time. Sweep your right leg up to the sky. Give the toes a good point. And exhale to float forward. Bring the knee to the elbow, shoulders over the wrist. Nice, strong 3-point plank. Squeeze through the core. Inhale, nice and slow. Send it back and up, three-legged dog. Important not to use momentum in this one. As you exhale, shift forward. Bring the knee into the center of the chest. Tuck your chin around the spine. Last one. Inhale, move with as much control as you can. Three-legged dog. And as you exhale, right knee comes towards the left elbow and then take it further by kicking the right leg out. Lower the foot to the floor. Drop your left heel so you can rotate the torso up towards the sky. Pick up your left hand, opening up into your fallen triangle with the right hand grounded. Then stack the hips and shoulders back in line. Really engage through the core, press through the right hand. Lighten up your right foot so you can lift and hover the right foot off the floor. Point the toes. Start to bend the right knee in towards the chest, just for a second. Lower down, keeping the right knee bent. And as both sits bones come down, left hand down the inside of the left leg, right arm reaches up and over. Gaze up towards the sky, roll the right shoulder blade onto your back. And with your right palm facing down, pull the thumb back behind you, just to encourage more of that sensation of opening through the chest. As we start to come back up, you can put your right hand down at the top of the mat, sweep your left arm up to the sky, keep the right knee grounded this time as you lift the hips, supported side plank. Option to extend the left arm overhead. And imagine almost like you're trying to create a crescent moon shape by lifting the left side of the ribcage up towards the ceiling, really exaggerating this stretch down the side body. Lower your left hand down, square off, turn your right toes back, tuck your left toes under, power up through the arms, the shoulders, press the ground, lift your right knee up and hug it in towards the chest, and as light as you can, step forward between the hands. Setting up your lunge position, inhale to reach the arms up and overhead. Find your balance, keep the left heel lifted, firm the left toes down into the floor. And squeezing the inner thighs together to create stability, find a twist, left hand forward, right hand back. From here, keep this twist but flip your left palm up to the sky and reverse your lunge. Reach your left fingertips up, lift the sternum, right hand gently finds the back of the left leg behind you. Then spin the left hand forward as you come down, 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 left hand to the floor, right arm reaches up to the sky in this revolved lunge. So this is a little tricky, but your top hand, right hand, comes down between the grounded arm and leg and tap the outside of your left thigh. And as you inhale, unwind and come right back up. We're going to trace that same pattern twice more. Exhale to reach back, give the outer left thigh a tap. Inhale to reach up, open the chest. And on this last one, remember, we're going to reach back, Just locate the outer left thigh, and as you start to come forward, hook your left arm underneath the right, so that as you rise up, you can scoop yourself up into eagle arms, or modification, grabbing onto opposite shoulders. Lunge a little deeper if you can, so send the hips forward, and then start to lean the shoulders back as you lift the elbows from the chest and reach your fingertips up towards the sky. If you're feeling really strong, you can even gaze up towards the ceiling. And then return the gaze to the front to help with balance. Take a moment to lift up your left leg. Bend your right knee just a little bit so you're creating almost a shelf to stack your left thigh on top of. Double wrap the foot if you'd like. Squeeze your thighs in towards each other and level out your hips. And really breathe into and enjoy this arrival moment. This is the climax of our yoga class. So don't be so quick to think about what's coming next. Be here now. Great work. Unwind the left leg, plant your left foot on the floor, and take a massive inhale as you uncross the arms, reach them all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your head, fold all the way down, Uttanasana. We'll take another flow, half lift on the inhale. Crown of the head pulls forward. Plant your hands, step back, high plank position, and move through your vinyasa, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. You can skip it as well as if you'd like. Inhale to open the heart. And exhale, hips pull back and up, toes tuck under, downward facing dog. Let's give the shoulders a little bit of a break so you can bend your knees, lower the knees down to the mat, untuck your toes, melt the hips back to the heels, finding Balasana, child's pose. Option to keep your arms extended towards the front of the mat, or turn your palms in prayer position and then bend the elbows so the thumbs kind of just graze either the back of the skull or the space right at the back of the neck. Make sure elbows stay grounded. Let yourself melt down. And let go of any effort or any desire to push harder, to work more, knowing that we're approaching the end of our practice and we're really quickly cooling things down, slowing things down. If your hands are in that prayer variation, lower your palms back down to the floor. You can lift your forehead up off the mat. Take your hands just beside your knees for leverage, and then press yourself all the way up to a kneeling position. Slow and easy. And as you arrive upright, take a big inhale, scrunch the shoulders up towards the ears, and exhale, roll the shoulders down and back. Envision any tension just rolling right off the back body. Again, inhale, curl the shoulders forward and up, and exhale, soften and let something go. And last one, breath and movement together. Inhale, scrunch, and exhale, release. And all we have left to do today is make our way into Shavasana. So when you're ready, you can sweep your legs over to one side and come to a seated position. Make sure you're right in the center of your mat so that you have space on the mat behind you that you're going to roll back into. As you inhale, sweep your arms all the way up towards the sky. Palms face in towards each other. Exhale, start to reach forward with the fingertips. Rather than dropping the hands down, we're going to tuck the chin, start to round through the back body. Using that final bit of core control, you can tap into here, lowering one vertebra of your spine down to the mat at a time. Back of the head comes down last, and then you can drop the arms down by your sides. Turn the palms to face up to the sky. Let the toes roll open to the sides. Allowing for a sort of settling and an acceptance of how things are in this very moment. Approaching this Shavasana with presence and patience. And this is where I will end the video, but as always, I encourage you, if you have a couple extra minutes today, to stay longer in the Shavasana after the video ends, and be mindful about how you come out of your practice. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.